Hello everybody and welcome to today's video, and in today's video I'll be discussing why Democrats are kind of screwed in the future in House elections. Now before I start, a few things. First off, make sure to go do the Q&A from I don't want to say, not necessarily a while, like a week and a half-ish ago. I'm thinking probably one or two more questions in and I'll do the video, so please, I want to do that relatively soon, y'all, so definitely if you haven't commented a question already, go do that. Also, by the time this comes up, I think it'll be 12 a.m. On the 5th. Anyways, so getting started, and this sort of is a bit of a spoiler for my next Senate prediction, but the Democrats are sort of screwed, not only in the 2022 Senate, but in the Senate in the future. So I think that at this point, as of right now, Pennsylvania is probably going to the GOP. Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, I think people kind of underrate, I think, or at least in my opinion, I think that people, or not say underrate how far right it is, but I feel like people tend to view Wisconsin as being farther to the right than Pennsylvania, whereas I think in 2022 they'll actually vote relatively similarly. But also New Hampshire probably flips. Georgia possibly could flip. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. Arizona is I think a lot of people are definitely overrating Kelly in Arizona. I think it's very plausible to see a Brnovich victory. I think it's I don't even know if very plausible makes sense, but I think it's plausible that Brnovich could win. But let's be nice to the Democrats. Let's say that Kelly is able to hang on. Now it's 51-49, which I believe was actually where it was heading into 2018. Now for 2024, looking at this, if it's 51-49 and the map looks somewhat even like this, the Democrats are in a very, very rough spot. West Virginia is definitely lost. So that's at least one seat. Now it's 52-48. I think that Sinema in Arizona is vulnerable. I'm not going to say that she loses. I think that's unlikely. But it's definitely a possibility. Montana, I think that there's actually, I feel like a lot of people are very quick to say that they'll vote for the GOP in 2022, and I'm a little bit more hesitant. I think that Tester being an incumbent, being so centrist in Montana will help him. I think the fact that he was able to get elected, yes, it was in a blue wave, but he was able to get elected as an incumbent. I believe, obviously it's an incumbent. I was thinking back to when he last won, which I think would have been 2012, unless he was like appointed. But well, then he would have probably won a special election. But regardless, he's shown that he can win, and yes, they were in relatively favorable years for him, but especially with the state shifting to the left, I think that it's definitely possible. But we have given Arizona to the Democrats twice when it was very debatable. So let's say that the GOP does carry Montana. Now it's 53-47. Now, Ohio, you could definitely make an argument for Sherrod Brown losing. I'm a little bit hesitant to that, but I think that there's definitely an argument to be made. So 53-47 could very easily be 55-45. Honestly, could it very easily be 56-44. Trust me, I'm not that bad at math. I was taking a second to think about what it was. Believe me, please. No, but 47-53. Heading into this with, in 2026, 47-53, I think that the Democrats really don't pick up anything. Like Gary Peters was in a it was an incredibly narrow margin of victory for him. I think he's relatively vulnerable. Yes, Trump was on the ballot, which would help John James, obviously. I think that overall, I don't see Peters necessarily being an incredibly, um, or however I just, and I don't see him being an incredibly vulnerable incumbent. But I could see it being problematic, and I honestly don't. Other than North Carolina, I don't see anywhere really where the GOP picks up a seat. I mean, like, or where the Democratic Party picks up a seat. I mean, like, Maine, maybe. I think that Susan Collins at this point is too popular. Minnesota was pretty narrow, so the GOP could pick up a seat there. Maybe Alaska, but it's very hard for me to see, other than North Carolina, where the Democratic Party picks up a seat, which means that they could be heading into 2028, with possibly, possibly a weak Democrat on the ballot, or possibly a strong Republican running for re-election. Like, realistically, Ron DeSantis could be president, running for re-election, and he could have that same down-ballot effect that Trump did, which would help him, or which would help Republicans, obviously. And it could have them coming out of 2028. It could have them coming out of 2028 with, 2026, which will actually, it could be a very favorable year for them, mind you, 2026, because it's, I think, relatively realistic that a Republican wins in 2026. But if it's a GOP, or if it's a Democratic midterm, I think that this is even worse for them. But they could be heading into 2026 with, like, down 53-47, or 53-47. They could be down. They could be in a very, very tough place, with not many opportunities for, not many solid opportunities for pickups. I mean, like, Montana, maybe, but I doubt it. Maine, maybe. North Carolina, yes, they could do that. If they were to flip those three, we're going to assume that they don't flip Iowa, sorry. Assuming that if they flip those three, if they are in office, or if it's a Democratic president, or a Democratic if it's a Democratic if the vice president of, or the president of the Senate is a Democrat, so if it's a Democratic, like, president, then they win. If it's, or then then they have a narrow majority. If the president of the Senate is not a Democrat, they're in an incredibly tough spot. Like, what are they going to flip? Texas? Iowa? It's not likely, I don't think. Like, this, they would be in an incredibly tough position. And that's assuming that they do pull through with Arizona right now, or in the next Senate election, and that Sinema pulls through in 2022 or in 2024, which is debatable. But yeah, I think whatever. I feel like I say my intro very similarly, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. One of them was. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, or my outro, whatever. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm just gonna restart. Yeah, this is getting weird. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Once again, guys, please do not forget to go comment down some questions for that Q&A. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below. And I hope to see you all in my next video. I really don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all. So, please comment some suggestions down below. You guys have actually been pretty good with that. In terms of giving me suggestions. So thank you all for that. Anyways, I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!